Hello. Let's jump into a little math. Last time we'll review 7.6, but let's just take one quick peek at it. You'll notice the book does a lot of models, and these models can be very helpful. For some, they can make it a little bit more complicated or complex, but the models are helpful if we give them a little bit of attention. So let's look at 1 3/4. 1 whole and 3/4. And let's look at how the book asks you to model this. We're chopping wholes up into parts of 4, right? Because that's our denominator. So the 1 we're going to chop into 4 parts. We chop the 1 whole, right? The 1, we chop it into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've got 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. There's our whole represented as a model. It's a mixed number, so now let's put the fraction down as a model. 3/4, we've got 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. And I drew a dotted line to kind of represent that missing 1/4 that prevents it from being a whole. Obviously it doesn't exist, but I wanted you to kind of conceptualize it. So now let's add all these 1/4 together. 1/4 plus 1/4, 2/4, right? Plus 1/4, 3/4, plus 1/4, 4/4, plus 1/4, 5/4, plus 1/4, 6/4, plus 1/4, 7/4. There you go, 7/4. 1 3/4 written not as a mixed number but as a fraction is 7/4. Okay, one other little trick that maybe you guys have picked up on, and again I want you to understand the concept, but this is maybe a good way to, let's say, check your problem. Let's multiply the whole number on the left times the denominator. 1 times 4 is what? 4, right? And then add your numerator. 4 plus 7, or excuse me, 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. So 1 times 4 plus 3 is 7. Put that over the denominator, 7 over 4. So that's a little trick. And then just one other technique the book shows you, of course, this is closely related to our model, but 1 over 1 is the same as 4 over 4. We know we're putting things over 4, right? 1 over 1 is 4 over 4. We'll add that with 3 over 4, 7/4. So right there, I just showed you 3 ways to solve these. And then the last part of our review is if we get a fraction and they want us to write it as a mixed number. If we got a fraction, they want us to write it as a mixed number. And actually, I just realized I'm going to need my chalk for this. So, chalk, where are you? Chalk. Mr. Morgan came to class unprepared. Put my chalk down. All right, here we go. 7 over 4, right? We know that we're working over 4, so let's do all the unit fractions. All the unit fractions that it would take to make 7 over 4, well, 7 of them, right? 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, right? So there's 7 of them. And here's what we'll do. Let's add them together. 1/4 plus 1/4, 2/4 plus 1/4, 3/4 plus one more, 4/4. Oh, you know what? We've got a whole. We've got 1. So when we're doing our mixed number, we know we'll have at least 1. I'm just going to put 1 up above there. And then now let's keep adding. 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. But there's no more. We're not going to get another 1 whole. So therefore we end up with 1 3/4. Sorry, we're crowded for room here. But 1 3/4. So 7/4 becomes 1 3/4. All right, so that's a little review. I got pretty much all the work in from everybody yesterday, and the scores were high. You guys were doing well. Keep up the good work. All right, next chapter, 7.7, or the next lesson, 7.7. It's really easy, actually, and for some reason I think my camera, there we go, it's getting out of focus. All right, 7.7 is really easy. We're just adding and subtracting mixed numbers. The book, as always, gives you some models at the beginning. These models, don't let the models confuse you. This is really pretty easy, a pretty easy concept. Let's look at this problem right here. 1 4/6 plus 2 3/6, okay? Let's start off by adding the whole numbers. 1 plus 2 equals 3, very good. All right, now let's add our fractions together. 4/6 plus 3/6. We know how to do that, right? That's 7/6. We add the 4 and the 3. Leave our denominator 6, 3 and 7, 6. Now the book asks you to model, particularly the fraction part of it. So we have 4/6 plus 3/6. So let's take, we've got 4/6. We'll call this circle has 6 parts. Let's color in 4 parts. So there's 4/6. And now let's add 3/6 to it. So let's color in 3/6. So we colored in 3 more parts. So essentially what they're trying to show you is, oh, you just filled up another whole part. You just filled up another whole number. So when we were over here and we're looking at, 3 and 7/6, we just filled, we have 6/6 right here. We just filled up a whole nother pie. So now we're gonna end up with 4/6. We still have a little bit more fraction left over. We have 1/6 there at the end. So ultimately this is just a way of modeling that 3 and 7/6 more properly is written as 4 and 1/6. Okay? When we added 4/6 plus 3/6, we got 7/6. So we added another whole number. We went from 3 to 4, but we still have a fraction here. We have 1/6 left over. Okay, let's look at this again with a subtraction problem. All right, what they want you to do here is take 3 and 4/6 and take away 2 and 3/6. Now in this case, the model is really pretty easy to follow. We're gonna start off with 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 whole parts, and then 4/6. You'll notice all of these have 6 parts. This one has 4 of its 6 parts. It's 4/6, right? Now they want us to take away 2 and 3/6. So let's just take away 2. Take away 2 whole ones. Okay, you guys are gone. And now they want us to take away 3/6. Let's go ahead and work over here at our fraction, our 4/6, and let's take away 3/6 of it. Take away 1, take away, we'll take away u, take away u, and we'll take away u. So the only one that's left is this one, okay? So if we start off with 3 and 4/6, and we take away 2 and 3/6, what are we left with? We're left with 1 and 1/6. Okay, now this is just a way of modeling it. And when we look at the numbers, it's also really easy, or it's even easier, I'd say. 3 minus 2 is 1. 4/6 minus 3/6. 4 minus 3 is 1. Keep our denominator 6. 1 and 1/6. Make sense? Pretty easy, right? Let's get a little extra practice at this. Like I said, do your best with the models, but I think just with numerals, with numbers, you'll find it pretty easy. All right, 1 and 1/6 plus 3 and 3/6. I hope you saw the answer. All right, let's add the whole numbers together. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Let's add our fractions together. 1/6 plus 3/6 equals 4/6. 4 and 4/6. Sorry for the smudge mark. My board is getting harder and harder to clean every day. Anyway, 4 and 1/2 plus 2 and 1/2. Let's add our whole numbers together. 4 plus 2 equals 6, right? 1/2, or 1/2, plus 1/2. Let's add our numerators together. 1 plus 1 is 2, so that's going to give us 2/2. But you should recognize that 2/2. Oh, we just filled up another whole. That's a whole number now. And we can just transfer it over to 7. Do you see how that works? 2/2 is a whole, so it can become a whole number. It can become 6 and 2/2 becomes 7. All right, let's look. 3 and 11/12. This is kind of our most challenging problem. 3 and 11/12 plus 9 and 9/12. Let's add our whole numbers together. 3 plus 9 is 12, right? There we go. We keep going out of focus. There we go. 3 plus 9 is 12. 11 plus 9 is 20. So 20/12. Now you should recognize that this fraction here, right, this 20/12, that's greater than 1, isn't it? If it were 1 whole, it would be what? 12/12. But 20/12, that's obviously, we've filled up another whole, whether it's a pie or a bar or whatever it is. We've filled up another whole, so we can definitely count on 12 becoming 13, right? 12 becomes 13. But will there be still be a fraction? Well, let's see. How many times can 12 go into 20? 12 goes into 20. Well, let's do it right here. 12 can go into 20 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract, and we've got 8. Now 12 can't go into 8, so we've got 8 as our remainder. Okay? So when we look at 12 over 20, we know that it's going to bump us up to 13, and then we had that remainder 8, which we put over our previous denominator of 12. Okay? So this is actually kind of what you were doing in 7.6, where you had to turn a fraction into a mixed number. 20 over 12 as a fraction, but you can turn it into a mixed number. 20 over 12 would be 1 and 8/12. Tack that onto our other answer, our 12. We get 13 and 8 over 12. 13 and 8 over 12. Very good. All right. Let's get a little practice with the subtraction side of it. 5 and 7/8 minus 2 and 3/8. All right. 5 minus 2 is 3. 7/8 minus 3/8 is 4/8. Next one. 8 and 3/5 minus 7 and 3/5. 8 minus 7 is 1. 3/5 minus 3/5 is 0, right? 3 minus 3, 0. 0 over 5 is 0. Answer is 1. And then our last one. 10 and 2/5 minus 10 and 1/5. 10 minus 10 is 0. 2/5 minus 1/5. 2 minus 1 is 1. Final answer, 1/5. There you go. Any questions? Feel free to comment on the video or to just shoot me a question and an email or whatever it may be. Any way you want to get a hold of me. And let me see here. I don't have the book in front of me, so the page numbers escape me, but it will be in the notes of the email. So y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.